Good morning, Trinidad!
It's Carnival!
I'm sorry, you people are crazy.
And we are going to go exploring today.
Google, what have you done to us? What have you?
After a relaxing few weeks with family, we made the exhausting 56-hour journey from Australia to Trinidad, where Millie had been patiently waiting for us.
Well, the first activity of the first day back on the boat. So we just thought, you know what, let's try and get to the 21st century and go all NMEA 2000. So I'm just getting the wires through the boat for the depth transducer and the speed transducer. Pretty much, we've just decided to get rid of one seacock so that we have one less hole in the boat. Let's do some like very minor, essential
This is what you call
jobs.
minor? There's a 2-inch hole in the boat.
3 days I've been working on this beautiful smooth fairing. Just painted right over it.
It's Carnival here in Trinidad. What we've decided to do today is actually take a day off from some boat work and head into the main town, Port of Spain, and go and celebrate Carnival with everyone. So pretty much big parade. So we're going to take some photos, or we're going to try and take best photo of the most scantily clad person there. We're also going to try and have a fill of 3 different types of Trinidad street food, also drink the local beer here, and check out or try and take some photographs of people whining, which is apparently the whining, yeah, like to drink of wine.
It's like twerking.
Yeah, exactly. It's like the local word to twerk, pretty much.
They love words like that here. They have whining, which is like twerking, and then limin, which
Limin.
is generally like
Hanging out.
code for just hang
Chilling
out. It like could be anything from just sitting on the side of the road with your mate to having a big party.
We're going to go on lime at the...
We're liming at the festival to watch the
Carnival.
whining.
Yeah.
Carnival was brought to Trinidad by the French settlers in the 1700s. It encompassed a series of weird and wonderful events from Christmas leading up to Ash Wednesday. These festivities included masquerade balls, house parties, and street parades. In the 1700s, participation was generally reserved for the elite, with other classes and races only being allowed to participate if they were performing. The African slaves began their own parallel celebration called Cambule.
The great part about Cambule is its mockery of oppressors. The costumes worn in the celebrations embodied an exaggerated version of the French characters like Dame Lorraine, mocking the formal dress of French women and exaggerating the padding in the chest or widely elaborate hats and fans. These subtle methods of mockery gradually evolved into the incredible and elaborate costumes we see today.
Cambule became even more important as a symbol of freedom and defiance after the official emancipation of slaves in 1838.
The celebration became more daring, louder, and consequently were met with hostility. The government tried to stifle it by outlawing all forms of drumming, singing in public, masquerading, stick fighting, and the practice of all African-based religions. As is the nature of Carnival though, when met with resistance, alternative methods were found. The freed slaves did not let the bands stop them, and they switched to using bamboo sticks. When bamboo sticks were banned, they switched to using small biscuit tins. In the process, the steel pan emerged, which is an instrument still used in Carnival to this day.
With such a rich and spirited history, it's hard not to get swept up in the atmosphere.
One thing ticked off the list. Check. We did make it until 10 a.m. at least, so it's all good. How is your snow cone, Caribbean snow cone?
Good. Exactly what I needed. Wouldn't be down.
Soca, lime and coconut flavour.
Very sweet.
And just in case it wasn't sweet enough, a nice dollop of condensed milk on top as well. Yum, yum.
And that is a wrap. Whoa, what a day. It's a long day. And we were taking the lazy way out. We got picked up at 9 and dropped off at 4. And the revelers were out there from, what, I think it's 6 o'clock. They're out, their boots on the ground, and they're still going. They look exhausted. They must have been partying for a week straight, quite literally a week straight. So it was a lot of fun. I'm really glad we finally did it. But they've got more stamina than I do, that's for sure.
I think that we officially crossed off everything on our list too, including the three different types of Trinidad food, which kind of all involved some form of like deep fried bread, which I'm not against, but probably not the healthiest of foods today. Yeah, that was amazing though. So many feathers, just so many feathers everywhere. But it was so cool. I think I went there and I was immediately like, oh, I wish I had been in one of the bands. That would have been really cool. Adam and I should do that next time.
Next time, maybe in Brazil.
Yeah.
Carnival in Rio.
Definitely.
You can get all the feathers and all the whatnot. We better start exercising now.
So, after our fun at Carnival the other week, we decided to rent a car to go and have a proper look around Trinidad. So, we've got it for 2 days. We're going to do some chores and things like that the first day. And then the second day we're going to have a proper drive around and go and explore. It does not sound like a healthy car. It's very much like a beaten up, oh, this is what we found at the back of the car yard kind of a car. But it's fine because it matches a lot of the other cars that are also driving on the road. So at least we don't need to be too worried about banging up if that happens. Luckily though, actually, Adam has his driving license again. Now that we've been back to Australia, he managed to have a chance to get his driving license renewed, which means that he's driving.
After all these years being a driver, Kiara, how does it feel to be a passenger?
I should ask you how it feels to be a driver first.
It's good. I feel in charge again. I feel in control. Well, the worst part was I didn't even do anything wrong. I was going to be stripped of my license for that many years. I might as well have gone out and done a big wheelie or something, or got in trouble for something good, had a good story, but I just didn't get a chance to pay the bill because I wasn't at home. That's all it was.
His problem was that he, for those of you who don't know, is that as I think you can go around the learner.
You can't see past the baby.
I know that you haven't driven
We're
for a while, but I
learners.
think that you can go past the learner.
It's a solid white line. You're not allowed to do that.
So his license expired about 4 years ago now, and he was meant to renew it. We went back to Australia about 3 years ago. Unfortunately, he's so used to being just a John Doe, doesn't carry any form of identification, credit cards, debit cards, absolutely nothing with him, and I take everything, that he completely forgot to bring his wallet to Australia with him and therefore could not renew his license again. So it's been 4 years. Finally, when we went back this time, he could finally renew his license, and he is now able to drive.
Bureaucracy, that's all it was. Why should I need a card?
So today, actually, we started the day off a little bit late because we were meant to rent the car at about 9 o'clock. We didn't end up doing it until about 10:30, 11. So we figured, you know what, let's not have an exploring day today. Let's do our chores today. And our chores being like doing a big old shop, topping up our propane tanks, and the diesel here as well. I'm talking a lot. You should really explain about the diesel.
Marine diesel is largely the same as car diesel from a petrol station, and the marine diesel price is always 2, 3 times the price of the diesel you would get at the Bowser at a normal petrol station. In Trinidad, it's even more cheap because, I think we got a price this morning. It was 4 TT a litre, is that right?
Yes.
It worked out to be like 60 euro cents or $1 Australian per litre, which is about half what you would pay for diesel in your car at home. We've got all of our jerry cans in the back, and basically if we can fill up the boat with diesel at land-based diesel prices, the car has paid for itself in the savings alone. So we've got a full boot of jerry cans, and we'll make a couple of trips to various fuel stations around the place along our travels, and with any luck we'll leave here with full diesel tanks for the boat, and we will have only paid $1 Australian a litre, or like 60 US cents, something like that. That's a year's worth of diesel for us, so it's nothing to turn your nose at that.
Oh,
Jesus, man, just pull off the road, slam on the brakes.
just finished fueling up for 5 jerry cans of 450 TT, which we will do a conversion below. So we're all done with chores today, mostly. Couldn't find any propane. That was a bit of a nightmare. We've literally spent about 3 hours in the car just going back and forth in rush hour traffic. And it's pretty poor traffic in this place.
Driving here is insane. I'm sorry,
wild.
you people are crazy. Undertaking, overtaking, just walking, like wantonly walking out into traffic without so much as a head check. Out of control.
And as soon as you try and film it, obviously all the traffic's fine then. But yeah, we certainly had some near misses today. Not really from Adam's part. Anyway, we're going to go back to the boat now, and we're going to unload all of our diesel, put it into the tanks, get them all ready for tomorrow's run, and pretty much prepare tomorrow for going and having some fun. Day 2 of car rental. Ooh.
Oncoming traffic. Day 2 of crazy roads in Trinidad.
It was literally the opposite side of the road. Day 2 of car rental, and we are going to go exploring today. First step on our trip today for exploring, we're going to go and take a bit of a hike to Covine Gorges.
Google, what have you done to us?
Okay, well, this isn't ideal. Apparently the place has just decided to be closed for anybody walking here. But look how stunning this is. All this bamboo around. I think it's called a bamboo cathedral. Alright, so executive decision was that because it's around about lunchtime now, we're way behind schedule because of a minor mishap this morning where I lost charger and we couldn't find it and we had to get, anyway. We're going to go to a place called Maracas Bay, and it's a nice kind of beach spot, and when we're there we're going to have a local food called shark and bake. We have had this before, but apparently this is the best one on the island.
Shark and bake. It's pretty much a fish burger that you make yourself and you eat without folding over, I think. It's pretty good though, to be honest with you. It's actually really good.
I may have overdone it on the condiments. It's as big as my face. And we're back on the road. Short stop at the beach and back onto, actually that was a glorious beach. Those palm trees are like, oh, make it look so idyllic.
Old school. Oh, gee. They're big on their car security here.
I personally have felt fairly safe here. There hasn't been a reason at all for me to feel unsafe. So,
except on the road. Nice. The road is out. I do not recommend driving actually.
We were discussing this before, but like, what is the difference between getting a tour and getting the getting a car yourself and doing your own tour? Usually, because we're kind of filming and talking to the camera like this, it's a little bit weird if there's like a tour person in front of us, or if we're in a big group of people, so we prefer to rent a car. However, Adam did raise the point that maybe in Trinidad, because of the driving and because obviously the first place we went to was like a strange out the way kind of closed place, you might need a little more local knowledge. Maybe a tour guide might be good.
It's that kind of place, yeah. Like you can get around and just drive the coast road and pull up at places and things if you want, and it'll be an experience by itself just driving around here. But if you want to like tick off things off a list that you've looked up in advance, like they do seem to require a fair bit of local knowledge to pull down the right dirt track and park at the right gate that says don't park here, you'll be towed. You never know what which rule is the legit rule and which rule is the one that everyone just ignores, and they just put that sign there years ago.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, it's a bit like that. So it can be a bit challenging rocking around by yourself.
Speaking of tours, we were about to embark on one ourselves.
The Coroni Swamp is the largest mangrove wetland in Trinidad and Tobago. The swamp is known for many different species of birds, including herons, egrets, flamingos, and the scarlet ibis, one of Trinidad's national birds. Most of the ibises feed in Venezuela, 11 miles away, and in the early evening, the massive flocks of red ibises return to roost in the mangroves.
Back on our own 2 feet, just how I like it. If you're a thrill seeker, driving in Trinidad's great. If you're not a thrill seeker, just get a bus.
Fortunately for us, our prayers for a local guide were answered when a couple named Claire and Johnny came knocking on the hull one afternoon. Having told them our story, they offered to take us to see some of the things that we missed, which ironically were just beyond the big gate which said, "Do not enter." In the 1960s, during the Cold War, the USA developed an early warning system to detect the launch of intercontinental ballistic missile attacks before they were able to reach American soil. This radar station was one of the first stations built in the monitoring network. It now serves as an adult jungle gym for intrepid locals and occasionally a shelter for the homeless.
Inside the satellite. Whoa, I can feel it moving under me. Oh. What a view.
That's Venezuela down there.
I never film going down because it's always worse. Everything we've ever climbed, I always put the camera away on the way down because I feel less safe coming down. Okay, and that's going to apply this time.
This is immaculate inside.
Peekaboo.